I really enjoyed this. I thought this was really beautiful and a really, really interesting dynamic that they set up with what you heard, the kind of voiceover, what I imagine as some sort of diary entries, at least that's how it felt to me hearing them. Like either a diary or like a letter that's not necessarily addressed to anybody. Um, that between that and then what you were actually seeing, I thought not all of it. There were definitely moments where what you were hearing was you kind of could catch a reflection of it in her face of that kind of sadness, that kind of almost withdrawn within the group, or she just kind of had moments where it flashed. But I thought for the most part, what you were hearing her saying versus what you were seeing happening didn't always necessarily line up. And how I kind of interpreted it was what she was kind of reflecting back on these memories and how they were in fact memories and no longer kind of circumstances and situations that were necessarily happening in the present moment, and reflecting back on how that made her feel in the present day with the voiceover versus the memories that she was looking back on, and kind of moving through the joys that she had felt when she was physically with those people, and getting to experience this happiness and lightness and dancing and laughing with people that you're obviously very, very close to, versus when those things kind of fade through a number of circumstances, but especially when you're young and as you get older, people move and people grow apart and people move on to different phases and things in their life. And that does mean that some of these things that you enjoyed so much end. And I just thought that it was really interesting. Like I said, it wasn't 100% like at odds, but I did feel like the voiceover was definitely more like reflective and less in the moment, whereas what you were seeing was definitely more in the moment, and I really, really enjoyed it.
This film, Plié, was a journey. They really brought us through this beautiful scape and through almost mostly continuous movement as viewers, feel like we move along with them. It explores different relationships and growing close and far and the beauty and constant change, I think, especially maybe in growing up. Um, I loved the dance elements, especially when they're outside. I think it's really pretty. Um, and when they are kind of doing life while also incorporating the dance moments in it, I think it adds a lot of texture to the film and to the piece, and it becomes layered with life, which I think was really beautiful to watch.
Pile of eggshells. I feel this film was very poetic. Um, I think that it does a beautiful representation of love. I the film says something that is very interesting. That it was something like the only moment I feel in peace is when I'm sleeping. I think that has two points of view. From one side, we see this girl, the first girl who appears on screen at the beginning of the film, who says this and who is, well, deeply in peace along with her girlfriend on her bed on their bed, and she is indeed in a very peaceful mood. They are on their own worlds. But then, as the girl who gets off her bed and goes and dances and everything, we kind of feel like when she's out of the bed, she's not at peace because she needs to deal with the world. So that's one way to view it. The version that when they are sleeping they are in peace, but and everything is calm, but also because of the ending, when everyone is dancing and fooling around in the beach, I thought that there's another vision for this line, which is that yes, when you are in bed you are in peace, but maybe being at peace is not always the best thing, because well, you're not, conscious. But when they are dancing and playing in the beach and the water, it's messy, but they are happy. So I think that the second possibility of this line is that being at peace can be nice, but maybe you can also find beautiful places and beautiful connections when you're out of your bed, when you are out in the world, meeting people, interacting with people who connects with you. I also get this idea for the other story, the one with the two men. So yeah, it was quite a poetic experience. Production-wise, is amazingly well done. The cinematography, the edition, the performances, everything's very good. But what really moves me is the dialogue and the way the images combine with what this girl is saying. So this is a film that I'm going to rewatch a couple of more times because I think it's powerful. And I congratulate the filmmaker for making such a compelling piece. Well done.
With Plié on Eggshells, we get sort of this really close, intimate, warm, neutral experiences through the lens. It's very grounding and calming and warm. And you get to see these soft, delicate, but very intimate experiences, whether it's with themselves or with another person. We get to have these little moments of insights of what's inside one's mind. What it's like to be next to someone and feel so alone. Just that phrasing all in itself, those words hit hard, they hit home. It's something we're all familiar with, but something that we're all familiar with on a one-on-one perspective. And just that intimacy between the characters in this are so alluring and sensual, and it's a very romantic type of intimacy that is displayed all through the use of an ice cube. It is just a just ravishing experience to showcase on the lens.